our robotics class. And today, we will be learning another lesson on electronics. I hope that you are now ready for today's session. In the world of electronics, having a good understanding of the tools at your disposal is essential for success. Whether you're just starting or have some experience, knowing how to use these tools properly can make your work more efficient and effective. Today, we will explore the fundamental tools and equipment used in electronics, their functions, and how they are crucial in various electronic applications. So, let's dive in. Welcome students to our lesson on basic tools and equipment in electronics. We will be targeting the following specific objectives: identify the different electrical tools and equipment, explain function and operation of basic electrical tools and equipment, and lastly, classify tools according to its specification, uses, and function. Electrical tasks can be accomplished systematically to save time, effort, and resources. Most of the work cannot be done using bare hands. To do the task, electrical tools or equipment are needed to perform the job. In this lesson, we will cover the basic electrical tools and equipment in these categories. First one is driving tools such as slotted screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and jeweler's screwdriver set. Next is the soldering tools such as soldering iron, soldering tool stand, and desoldering tool. The third category will be the splicing tools such as long nose, side cutter, and wire stripper. The next category will be boring tools such as portable electric drill equipment, flat file, half round file, and round file. For the cutting tools, we will cover utility knife and hacksaw. For the striking tools, we will cover claw hammer, mallet, and ball peen hammer. And for the last category, which is measuring tools, we will cover push-pull rule, ruler or foot rule, and wire gauge. Now, let's discuss each category. Starting off with driving tools. What is a driving tool? A driving tool is any tool used to push or drive an object into another object. Their general purpose is to connect two pieces of objects together or to connect wood or a material to another material. Driving tools include screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are hand tools specifically designed to insert and tighten or to loosen and remove screws. A screwdriver comprises a head or tip which engages with the screw, a mechanism to apply force by rotating the tip, and some way to position and support the screwdriver, the tip of which is shaped in to fit a particular type of screw. So looking into this image, we can see that they have different tips. This is to fit into a specific screw. So examples of screwdrivers. This one is slotted screwdriver. This one is used to drive or fasten negative slotted screws. Next is Phillips screwdriver. This one is used to drive or fasten positive slotted screws. It is a screwdriver that could take greater torque and could provide tighter fastenings. And the last one is jeweler's screwdriver set. And this one is a set of small screwdrivers composed of slotted and Phillips screwdrivers. So that's it for driving tools. How about soldering tools? Soldering tools or a soldering tool is an instrument for soldering consisting of a bit or bolt of copper having a pointed or wedge-shaped end and furnished with a handle. Soldering tools include firstly soldering iron. This one is a device for applying heat to melt solder in attaching two metal parts. A soldering iron is composed of a heated metal tip and an insulated handle. For electrical work, wires are usually soldered to printed circuit boards, other wires, or small terminals. A low power iron, around 20 to 30 watts, is suitable for this work. With soldering iron, there must also be a soldering tool stand. It is a place where the soldering iron is placed during usage. This will keep the soldering iron away from flammable materials. The stand often comes with a sponge in cleaning the tip of the soldering iron. And the third one is the desoldering tool. And this one is used in removing soldered wires and components on printed circuit boards for troubleshooting and repair purposes. So that's for soldering tools. The next category will be splicing tools. Splicing tools are an essential part of any electrician's toolkit. They're uniquely designed to help create smoother splices. Splicing tools cover long nose. Long nose is used for holding, bending, and stretching the lead of electronic component or connecting wires. We also have side cutter. It is a wire cutting plier, though they are not used to grab or turn anything, but are used to cut wires. And the last one is the wire stripper. It is a pair of opposing blades, much like scissors or wire cutters. The addition of a center notch makes it easier to cut the insulation without cutting the wire. The next category will be the boring tools. When we say boring, it is the process of enlarging a hole that has already been drilled or cast by means of a single point cutting tool or of a boring head containing several such tools. So these boring tools cover, first one, the portable electric drill equipment, and this is used for boring holes in plastic or metal chassis with the use of drill bits. And the next one is metal files. Metal files are hand tools having a series of sharp, parallel ridges or teeth. Most files have a narrow, pointed tang at one end to which a handle can be fitted. There are types of metal files. First type of metal files is a flat file. It is parallel in width and tapered in thickness. They are used for flat surfaces and edges. Next type is half-round file. It is tapered in width and thickness, coming to a point and is narrower than a standard half-round and used for filling inside of rings. And the third type is a round file. This is also called rat tail file, which is gradually tapered and used for many tasks that require a round tool, such as enlarging round holes or cutting a scalloped edge. Next category will be the cutting tools. So cutting tools are tools used in electronics to cut materials. This also include sewing tools. For cutting tools, we cover first utility knife. It is a common tool used in cutting various trades and crafts for a variety of purposes. Next is a hacksaw. This is used for cutting metals. Some have pistol grips, which keep the hacksaw firm and easy to grip. The small handheld hacksaws consist of a metal arc with a handle that fits around a narrow, rigid blade. For the striking tools, a striking tool is a very basic hand tool consisting of a weighted head attached to a handle. Striking tools include hammers, and hammers are tools used in driving or pounding and pulling out nails. They are made of hard steel, plastic, or rubber. Examples of hammers or types of hammers include: first is claw hammer, and this is a hammer with one side of the head split and curved, used for extracting nails. It is used for driving nails into or pulling nails from some other object. The second one is mallet. It is a kind of hammer, often made of rubber or sometimes wood, that is smaller than a maul or beetle and usually has a relatively large head. It is usually used in carpentry to knock wooden pieces together or to drive dowels or chisels. And lastly, for striking tools is the ball peen hammer. It is a hammer with a rounded end opposite the face. It is commonly used to drive cold chisels, set rivets, and bend and shape metal. For our last category, we have the measuring tools. And these measuring tools, to measure wire length and other items, the electrician finds considerable use for measuring tools such as the ruler or foot rule, push-pull rule, and the wire gauge. Push-pull ruler is used to measure the length of an object in centimeters and inches. This is also used to measure heights for switches and outlets. The next one is ruler or foot rule. This is used to measure the length of an object in centimeter and inches. This is also used to measure heights for switches and outlets. And lastly, we have the wire gauge. It is a slotted circular disc used to find the diameter or size of an electrical wire. So that's it for the basic tools and equipment in electronics. This time, let's have an activity to test your understanding from today's lesson. Dealing with electrical tasks require one to use tools or equipment to perform a specific electrical job. Having adequate knowledge about the basic electrical tools is a must so that we will know what's the right tool to use in doing electrical tasks. That's why in this activity, we will test what you have learned about the basic electrical tools. Imagine that you are an electrician dealing with basic electrical tasks. Write the tools or equipment that you'll use in the following situations and why you would use them. So grab a paper and answer the following questions. First, you have to separate two woods attached together by a nail. What tool will you use and why? Second, you are asked to divide a 2-meter wire into two equal pieces. What tool will you use and why? And the third one, you want to know if the television's wire length is enough to reach the outlet located on the ceiling of a 10-feet room. What tool will you use and why? Fourth one, you are tasked with installing electrical wiring in a new building. What electronic tool would you use to drill holes through walls or other surfaces for the wiring? And lastly, you need to join two wires together securely. What electronic tool would you use for this task? And that's all for today's lesson on basic tools and equipment in electronics. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for listening.